We are, well, basically beside a field. We're right near the Tixall Wide, which is a sort of wider pool, apparently navigable all the way to the edges still.
But we're not going to do that.
No, not going to do that. We might
No, we will not.
meander a
No,
little
we
bit,
will not.
Well, we'll see, because we won't be on the boat. Yeah, so the Tixall Wide was apparently put there to keep the view from being spoiled from Tixall Manor, I believe it's called. Tixall Lodge. Anyway, there was a big manor up that way. It has since been demolished. In the 1920s it was taken down, which seems a strange choice. But once we pass the Wide, which is apparently haven to a very large number of kingfishers, although they are too small to show up on the GoPro, but we'll take a look and see if they're there. After the Tixall Wide, on the right, there will be the Tixall Gate.
Someone's done their research today.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. The Tixall Gate is the last remaining portion of the manor house. It was the gatehouse, and it's available for rental as a hotel now. So, you know, you can have a little vacation rental there. Yeah. And then, nothing. Till Penkridge. Nothing I know of.
I don't believe there's nothing here. Nothing you know of.
From here down, it's just sort of rural and pretty.
So we're not sure how far we're going today.
Yeah. Towards Penkridge, probably not to Penkridge. That's about 10 miles.
How far till the next look?
I don't know. I'll have to look at the map. We shall look at the map. It is a ways. Shut Hill Lock.
Okay.
I hope that's shut. Looks kind of like something.
Oh,
no. Sorry, there's one there. Depthmore Lock.
All right.
Okay, so we have roughly.
There's one right there.
There's Tixall Lock. Okay, we're right around the corner from the lock. I've read the map well. So the other option is we can stop here at Radford Bridge if we want to take a run into, what's the town called? Stafford. You know, it sounds like an interesting place.
Where the Rougeley poisoner got met his end.
Yes, and quite a few other people. And there's a fruiterer's shop and some other things. It sounds like a picturesque small town that would be worth a visit, but I'm not sure if we want to do the 1.5 mile walk.
Well, let's just cruise till we don't cruise anymore.
Right. Cruise till George is like, I want back on the boat.
No, that'll never happen. We'll be cruising forever.
Sometime next month.
Let's go.
Right, we're on our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah. Pleasant little trip down from
Great Haywood.
Tixall, just south of Great Haywood. The Tixall Wide was really nice.
And somebody ventured across the Wide.
I ventured a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah, I had to assert my independence, didn't I? After the admonishment this morning, I was like, I can't just stop. Yeah, so, a couple locks and...
One lock.
One lock? Oh yeah, second lock still in front of us. One lock.
There was a nice little cocker spaniel at the lock.
Oh, so cute. Almost as cute as George.
Almost
as cute as George. And now we've stopped up because I think we've decided to actually try, as long as the bus will take George, and we're going to take a bus into Stafford and take a look around.
It's 12 o'clock. We've got the whole afternoon.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it. Just a different little town, one that isn't directly connected to the canal.
And we're now back on the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, which goes from Stafford to
Worcester. Yeah. All the way. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah, quite a pleasant little day. Back and forth over the River Sow. Interesting that there is a place where they're rebuilding just up here. There was historically a lock that allowed you to lock down into the Sow River, and then you could take the Sow River into the basin of Stafford. And it's been cut off for quite a long time. I have no idea how long, but the Sow River is still there, of course. It's a naturally formed river. It's just been taken out of commission as part of the navigation. I thought it was just that they were proceeding with funding and everything. I'd seen a couple of little, mentions of the Stafford River Link, and there was a boat we passed that had notices up talking about the Stafford River Link and, donate to the Stafford River Link. And then we actually come around the corner and there's bricks in place. There's work being done.
But it's like, whatever bit they're doing, they haven't finished.
Yeah.
And it's just always a bit strange, isn't it, to see work started, but no one working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just people doing it as and when they have the time.
When they can, when the volunteers are available.
When we run out of canal, there might be some more.
There might be more canal. We might run out of canal and then we find out they've added some as we've moved along. So, now, a little bit of touristing in Stafford.
So it's a couple of days later and we're still on the mooring that we were going to stay on for one night.
Yeah, we came down here to just outside Stafford, a place called Queensville, just below the Radford Bridge. It's kind of convenient. There's an Aldi right over there. But we had read in the Nicholson's Guide about Stafford being a kind of picturesque town and lots of old buildings and stuff.
It's a half-hour walk, but there's also lots of buses, so we got the bus and they let George on the bus, so George had his first bus ride, which is very exciting. So Stafford's really nice.
There's the ancient tall house, which is quite amazing actually. It's a 4-story wood construction. I was amazed when I saw it. It's very similar to some of the framed buildings we see where there's these large wooden frames, these timber frames that have bent and warped over time. It's the same idea, but 4 stories tall. It's a free museum that's inside of it. They've done up one room as how it was when Charles I, soon to be Charles the Dead, visited and actually stayed in that room.
And now it's just standing in the middle of Stafford High Street with a phone shop at the bottom.
Yeah, like a phone shop on the bottom and a pharmacy on the other side. It's fascinating because as you go up, it gets more and more sort of skew-if.
What's the river called that's not navigable?
Oh, that's the River Sow.
Yeah, so it's the River Sow, and that kind of weaves its way around the town.
And then it splits at the mill.
Yeah, there's a mill there and the beautiful park, and you said you saw some mooring rings even though there was no narrowboats that could get down there.
These big mill wheels there that are still sort of sitting in place, and the Elizabeth Park where there's a lawn bowling green.
Which George hated because he just sat there and he was like,
let me have the yellow ball.
Why can't I chase all these balls?
Every time
he was barking, he never
these teams of people were throwing the balls and he was just like, I want the yellow one. It's a beautiful little town, and we walked around to there's an old windmill that's now like a chip shop and there's a little and so we visited that and went over to Stafford Jail, and turned out I think I got a shot of the actual place where Robert Palmer would have been.
If you watched the last video, we talked about the Robert Palmer who was
the Rugeley poisoner. Yeah. So this is where the scaffolding was built for public hangings. So we went to Stafford Commons and stood outside the Shire Hall, which is the seat of county government, and that's when we saw a sign, just out of the blue, for a presentation of the trial for murder of Christina Collins. Turned out there were 2 tickets left, and there was room for the 2 of us, but we couldn't have gotten Georgian, so we just got one ticket.
Me and George stayed at home. Basically, it's a reenactment of the trial.
Yeah, so it's really quite interesting. This local theatre group, the Creative Arts Theatre, has been running for quite a few years now. The trial is recreated in the courtroom where the trial originally happened. This courtroom's been sitting there since the 17th century.
So if you didn't see the last video, Christina Collins is a lady that ended up getting murdered while she was travelling on a narrowboat from Liverpool to London, and it happened as she went towards Rugeley, I think,
which is commonly called Rudgley in the in the court trial thing. Everybody,
have we been saying it wrong?
No, it was interesting because all the people there were like Rudgley, 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 and then as they got up and they said Rugeley as they were talking about it in the modern sense. So I don't know what that's all about.
We talked about it in the last video when you go past the place where her body was dumped in the canal and pulled out.
The Brindley Bank.
Yeah, the Brindley Bank and the bloody steps. By going to this thing last night, you found out a lot more.
I learned so much more about it than had been made clear, because I was reading the sort of overview of what I found on 17 different sites on Google, and it was like people's Flickr pages and their memories of what somebody told them, and it wasn't like The Poisoner where there was contemporary news accounts on a single website or anything. I was finding just various things, and they all kind of conflicted. One of them said that 3 men had been hung. That turned out to not be true. 2 men were hung, and one of them was an hour away from being hung. The 3 of them were in the chapel being given kind of their last rites and going through the whole business when one of them got word of a reprieve an hour before the noose was supposed to go around his neck. It was actually the second trial. The first trial, the men were effectively acquitted of rape, and that had gotten enough of a riot up in the press that they were tried a second time for murder. And there was a lot of argument as to whether or not that was correct, because the defense lawyer's summation at the end of this thing was basically that it's a matter of law and a principle of law in England that you can't be tried twice for the same facts.
Right.
And the judge had to say, well, they're not being tried twice for the same crime. It was interesting. Like, it turns out that these 3 men were effectively acquitted for rape because they accused each other, and under the law of the time, their statements against the other co-accused couldn't be used as evidence in the trial. If the 3 had been tried separately, then their statements about each other could have been used as evidence against each individual, but because they were being tried together, their statements all couldn't be used, and then the only remaining witness was dead and couldn't say anything. So they ended up being acquitted. The judge of the first trial actually ended up ordering the juries to deliver a non-guilty verdict, which meant that they were free from being tried a second time for the rape. But then they got tried for the murder. But then the charge that was brought on the murder was that they were murdered by the act of drowning, by pushing her into the canal. And that's where there's a possible miscarriage of justice in a sense. It was really quite well done. They sort of abridged it by jumping over certain portions, and a woman at the front of the proceedings would basically summarize everything while the members of the audience who were sitting on the jury would listen to that and everything, and then they were taken off at the end to make the judgment, and they came back with what the judgment.
And they were the audience?
Yeah, it was really well done. And towards the end of it, we basically, came back with the actual judgment, which was guilty, which led to 2 men being hanged and the other one being transported to Australia. But it probably shouldn't have happened. The conviction probably shouldn't have occurred because there was no witness to or proof of or even evidence of a pushing into the canal.
But they were almost certainly guilty of murdering her on the boat.
They were almost certainly guilty of accosting and raping her, and that she then either fell in or jumped in or was pushed in and drowned. The chain that was referenced in one thing, where she was found with a chain around her, didn't come up. Apparently that didn't happen. Her body was found floating in the canal. But yeah, it turns out that it's actually quite a complicated story. And based on the way the prosecutors charged it, they probably shouldn't have been convicted, although at the same time, it's almost certain that at least 2 of the men were guilty of rape, and the third was a accessory, if not actually involved. You know, essentially all 3 men said the other 2 had done this awful deed. Pretty strange story.
Yeah. And yeah, just strange that we happened to pop into Stafford the day before it was on.
Yeah, but if you get a chance, go to creativeartstheatre.co.uk.
So anyway, we hope you enjoyed this video and more murder on the Trent and Mersey.
Yes.
Although now we're on the Staffordshire and Worcestershire.
But the murder didn't happen here.
No, it didn't. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to, leave a comment below. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. And if you ever get to this area, take the little trip into Stafford. It's worth it.
I know you're there. You're standing next to me.
Am I really?
Don't get off it.
In a world in which we could see black holes, is it really? Who knows? Morning.
It's cold.
Yesterday we saw a black hole.
I
Not
didn't.
us specifically, but the world has seen a black hole, which isn't the black hole of Calcutta. I've been there. They're not related. Anyway, we keep switching canals. It's like we're here, we're there, we're on another canal. It's like everything's just changing. Imagine if you did this all the time in interstellar travel or something. I don't know. Which was sufficient that one of my mushroom caps was so cold that when I made a hard-boiled egg this morning and soft-boiled egg. I made a soft-boiled
Poached egg.
Sorry, yeah. I somehow, in some manner, cooked an egg this morning. No, I made a poached egg this morning, and the
Or
steam...
maybe it was soft-boiled because it was cooked in its shell. Don't you poach it if it's out of its shell?
Yeah, it's not technically poached. Yeah. So, I knew I was getting it right. Anyway, so I made... Yeah, our mushroom cap was so cold from the frost this morning that when I made the soft-boiled egg for my breakfast, it started raining on me from above. Like, it was dripping on my head. Okay, so thanks for watching. Damn it. Just totally froze. Hold on. Ooh, 2 buzzards. That's cool. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Click down in the doobly-doo thing and leave us a comment, because I buggered it up already again.
Why did you bugger?
I don't know. Let's try it again. So thanks for watching. If you feel like it, give us a thumbs up. Click down in the doobly-doo down below to leave a comment, and of course subscribe. And if you feel like getting notifications, hit the bell. Is that it?
Yeah.
Did I cover everything?
Yeah.
All right, good. Wow, look at that.
I mean, you could do it with more feeling.
Just more feeling. I just totally swooped in over there. More feeling. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up, click the bell, comment, subscribe. Is that like?
Genuine feeling.
Genuine feeling. Oh. The birds. Oh, the buzzard was after a pigeon. Genuine feeling. What, did you saying my feelings weren't genuine?
I'm saying they weren't genuine.
So thanks for watching. If you like the video, click, give it a
Let's just leave it at the one we got.
Doob and doob and doob. Nope, I'm going to do it again with feeling. So thanks for watching. If you want to, leave a thumbs up, click down below, and do some comments, and because we'd love to hear from you. Also, subscribe, and if you feel like getting the repeatedly annoying notification things that just pop up everywhere, hit the bell. That's my bell.
Bell. Big bell.
Well, yeah, it's a big bell. Every time your phone goes, I want you to pay attention to a video.
Alright. Have I got toothpaste on my face?
No.
Okay. Carry on, as you were.